Hey, Coach John here, and what I'm going to share with you in video number 2 of this 3-step system I've created is exactly how you need to invest your time when it comes to cardio. So, traditionally, when you think of cardio, you're probably imagining, distance runs or, maybe sprints on the treadmill, or even if you hop on the elliptical bike or rower and getting your heart rate up, right? And those are technically forms of cardio, but not the most effective types. So I'm actually going to go over how you should be investing your time and why. Unfortunately, we usually go to cardio as the first source of exercise, which is a big mistake, as I went over in our last video. But also, we prioritize it incorrectly as far as the types of cardio we can be doing. So I want to share that with you, right? So the first thing that we want to look at is the types of cardio. So we have metabolic cardio, okay, which is metabolic resistance training. That can be a circuit of total body strength exercises that could be done with lighter weights, higher reps, back to back, and minimal rest, something like that. Okay. The second type is high intensity interval training. This would be more of like a sprint or cardio machine, where you would go at a higher intensity for, let's say, a minute and then recover, or go at a low to moderate intensity for about 2 minutes so you recover, right? And the whole idea is to keep your potential intensity as high as possible. Because if you do something for, let's say, like you do a distance run for like 30 minutes, you're probably not going to be able to sprint to your full capacity, right? But we want to get as close to that full capacity as possible, because there is a fat loss benefit to that, and that's EPOC, which is excess post-oxygen consumption. So your third option when it comes to cardio, and there's a time and a place for this, is actually going to be the steady state or the traditional cardio, what we think of when I say the word cardio. Now, the drawback to that is, and the reason why I didn't underline it with green, is because it doesn't stimulate EPOC, right? That's the only one out of these three that there's no benefit as soon as you take that last step or that last pull on the rower. That's where the benefits pretty much end. Yeah, you burn some fat, you burn some calories during that workout, but it's not the most effective use of your time, and it could actually be detrimental to your total metabolic rate or metabolism. Now, these two forms of cardio, if done properly, can actually preserve muscle, right? So your bottom line metabolism does not take a hit at the cost of the intensity on your body, but also it stimulates the EPOC, and the EPOC is when you burn calories for anywhere from additional 100, 200, 300 calories over the course of 24 to 72 hours. And I'm going to explain why that is such a benefit and exactly how you should be investing your time. Because realistically, exercise shouldn't be an end game. It's an investment in a future benefit, which can be leaner, stronger, fitter, more, maybe less body fat, depends on your goals. But this all ties back to fat loss and maintaining a healthy, lean body, right? So this is what I call the inverse relationship spectrum between intensity and the fuel source. So at the top here you have fat contribution, right? At the bottom you have carbohydrate or glycogen contribution. Now what you're going to notice is this is an ever increasing amount of intensity. So on this end of the spectrum, this would be like us standing here, maybe walking, talking, doing very basic, low intense, low effort things. On the other end of the spectrum, you have, if you're getting run down by 18-wheeler, you'd be sprinting for your life. That would be somewhere in the high intensity, or at least I would hope it would be. Right now, here's the most interesting thing. Fat actually contributes at the highest relative percentage when we're doing nothing, right? So as you're sitting here watching this video, you're burning more fat to fuel the body at this given moment, relatively speaking, percentage-wise, than if you were getting chased by that 18-wheeler, or if a cheetah was running after you and you were running for your life. Sounds crazy, but stick with me here. The harder we work, the less fat actually contributes. So the percentage of fat for every calorie you burn, regardless of how many calories you're burning, actually cuts back. It curtails, because fat is not an efficient source of fuel. Carbohydrates or glycogen, which is a stored version of fat, carbs, and protein, is the preferential source of the body when it comes to fueling activity. So the harder we work, the less fat we burn percentage-wise, and the higher percentage of carbohydrates or glycogen. So you're probably thinking, well, John, why the heck would I ever work hard if I'm going to burn less fat. Now, that's a great point. You will burn fat during your workout because it's never one or the other, right? It's not a black and white thing, it's a spectrum. But what we're trying to do is stimulate fat loss after a workout, and that's where the EPOC comes in. It only comes from these two activities. There is a small, slight benefit that's been shown from steady state activity, but realistically, if you're pressed for time and you want to just get the most from your workouts, your time and efforts are best invested with these two, because remember, you stimulate the EPOC after, you burn some fat during, but that's not your primary goal. You shouldn't be stressing out watching a heart rate monitor how many calories you're burning. If you worked hard enough for the right protocol, right time frame, with the right intensity, you can walk away with confidence knowing that your metabolic rate is at a higher level, right? So remember, the lower intense activity is, the more fat contributes. So think about this way. If you spend the next 30 minutes doing a super high intense workout, somewhere in this range of the spectrum where carbohydrates are the main source of fuel, you're going to stimulate EPOC for the next 24 to 72 hours. Let's just say you're like the average person. You're probably not going to work out for at least another day, at least 16 to 24 hours. Ask yourself, where are those calories coming from? If you're going to be at rest for 16 to 20 hours, it's primarily going to be from fat because it's a lower intensity activity. The cool part is, after the EPOC kicks in, because you did the right forms of cardio, you're actually burning more calories. And since you're burning more calories at a lower rested state, you're burning more fat because it's a low intensity, and fat contributes at low intensities to the higher percentage. So also think about it this way. You basically turn your body into a fat burning machine, right? So the lower the intensity, the more fat contributes percentage-wise. So you want to think about that when you're planning out your workouts, how much time realistically you have. Because you could reach your goal of body fat loss or weight loss doing a heck of a lot of cardio, but realistically, it's the least efficient use of your time, is going to get you there the slowest, and it's going to cost you the most when it comes to your bottom line metabolism. We want to keep our bottom line metabolism up because we want to be a fat burning machine. We want shape and tone to our body. We don't want to look like a skeleton when it's all said and done, and when we do hit our weight loss goal. And also, by doing these activities and prioritizing metabolic and high intensity interval training, you're actually going to set yourself up for longer success, because your true metabolism stays higher because there's no cost to it like there is with steady state, which eats away your metabolism bottom line, and you're also going to be at a lower body fat percentage. So it's like a win-win, a 1-2 punch with strength training in combination. So when you're prioritizing your cardio, make sure you pick the program and protocol that matches metabolic training, and if you have the time, high intensity interval training. Time wise, if you have over 3 hours in a week, that's when you add in 1 to 2 hours worth of metabolic training. If you have, let's say, 5 to 6, 5 to 7 hours, throw in some high intensity interval training. If you have over 7 hours in your week throughout 7 days, that's when you add in steady state cardio. The only other thing is, when it comes to steady state cardio, this can vary based on your specific lifestyle goals you as an individual, but those are the general rules. The cool thing about steady state is that the blood flow and the low intensity, if you do like a power walk or a walk in an incline, that blood flow will help you recover your body from more intense strength training workouts. But as beneficial as that is, and as good as that's going to make you feel, remember not to prioritize that at the top here, which so many of us do. All right. Make sure to look for video number 3, where I reveal all of the secrets with your nutrition and the things you're not doing right that are going to turn your body and make you a fat burning machine.